Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala salah, hayya ala salah. Hayya ala falah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La
Alhamdulillah. حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه كما يحب ربنا ويرضاه وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله سلام عليه وبركاته. فإن أحسن حديث كلام الله وأحسن الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل من محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في نار. أما بعد. One of the companions said, كنتم يمشي في المدينة إذا سمعت رجلا خلفي يقول ارتع إزارك. If it felt the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in إزارك مثل الخيل. He said, I was walking through the streets of Al-Madinah and I heard a man's voice behind me saying, raise your garment up above the ankle. And I turned around and I saw that it was the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and I noticed that his lower garment was to the middle of his shin. And he sallallahu alayhi wa sallam stated, Ama laka uswatun hasana. Am I not an excellent pattern of conduct for you? Am I not a good mold of the way you should live your life? We as Muslims today in the 21st century, Barakallahu fikum. We talk week after week and month after month about throwing off the ways of Jahiliyyah, throwing off the ways of old and the ways of ignorance, and entering into the folds of Islam wholeheartedly, and living by the affairs of the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in our lives completely. Living the life, walking the walk, and not just talking the talk. Not just saying with our mouths that we're followers of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but rather working by the affairs in truth. And one of the poets of the past has said, he put some beautiful lines of poetry. He said, Al-im bila amal khirul to the jatab, wal amal bila im khinar to the hatab. Having knowledge and not working by the knowledge, or knowledge without actions is like making a fire with no wood. And having actions without knowledge is like a soul without a body. Showing us the importance of having not just knowledge, but the proper knowledge. Not just knowledge. Frankenstein had knowledge, and we see what he did, or what he thought he knew. May Allah protect us from this. Our Prophet ﷺ said, I have only been sent to perfect good character, showing us the importance of having knowledge to accompany the character to accompany your knowledge. And when our mother Aisha radiallahu anha, when she was asked about the character of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, she simply stated, "Kana khalaqat al-Quran." She said his character was the Quran. We are Muslims, right? We say we're Muslims. But let us read the book of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. And let us look at the commands of Allah. And let us look at the prohibitions of Allah. And after we do that, let's ask ourselves, as Muslims in the 21st century, are we truly upon the character of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Are we noble and upright like Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Are we people of truth? As the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who was known as Sadaq al-Amin before he received the Wahi, he said, "Alaykum bis Sadaq." It is upon you to be truthful. فَإِنَّ الصَّدَقَ يُؤَخِّرُ الْبِرَّ فَإِنَّ الْبِرَّ يُؤَتِي الْجَنَّةَ. It is upon you to be truthful, for indeed truthfulness leads to righteousness and piety. And indeed righteousness and piety leads to paradise. Or a man and a man will continue to tell the truth until it be recorded with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as being truthful. So we as Muslims in the 21st century, are we truly upon the character of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Are we noble and upright like Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Imam Ahmed rahimahullah ta'ala, rahmatan wasiya, he made a beautiful statement. He said, إِذَا رَأَيْتُ رَجُلًا مِنْ أَصْحَابٍ عَلَى حَدِيثٍ فَكَأَنَّ أَرَيْتَ النَّبِيٍّ حَيٍّ. He said, when I see a person, when I see a man who is following the Sunnah, who is living the Sunnah, it is as if I see the Prophet alive. We are Muslims, right? We say we're Muslims. What are we known for? What do the people think of when they see us? What do people think of when they see us coming? Are they reminded of the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Are they reminded of the authentic sunnah of the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? Or do they say, here comes this backbiter, here comes this liar, or this new one? We see the brother, assalamu alaikum, we see the brother, he's doing his 1-2s. He's a Muslim, but we talking about he's doing his 1-2. So what are we known for in 2021? We say we're Muslims. We scream at the top of our lungs that we're followers of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. But what are we known for? For indeed, Akhwan, what is the common affair of your life and my life and our lives? That's what we become known for. That's what we become written with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As we find in the narration of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when some of the companions were sitting along with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and his janazah passed by, and the companions being said that the man that was being carried was the worst of the people. And the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Sadaqtum, you have spoken the truth." And then later on that day, another janazah passed by, and the companions began to say, "Ni'ma rajul," that this man was the best of the people. And the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Sadaqtum, you have spoken the truth." So the companions said, "Ya Rasulullah," having concerned about their deen and these statements, he said, when the first guy came by, you said such and such, and you said we have spoken the truth. And when the other guy came by, we said such and such, and you said we have spoken the truth. Why? Why? And he said, indeed, you are the witnesses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon this earth. As a Muslims are witnesses to the Ummah. So what are we known for? We say we're Muslims. And when I think about this, I was preparing this khutbah in my head today. I think about the past few weeks of my life and the things that I experienced, and I barely read. I hardly ever use my personal experience when I come up with this member, even though it's all personal. And I thought about this statement when I see a person who was following. When I see a person who's following the Sunnah, it is as if I see the Prophet alive. And I think about my brother who I had to bury yesterday. You talk about Islam, you talk about living Islam, and some of these might notice, but his name was Abdul Kabir Shamsuddin. He was from Elizabeth, New Jersey. And I met this brother when I wasn't Muslim. And he became Muslim before me. And you talk about hitting the ground running, he hit the ground running. From the time he took Shahada until the day Allah called him back, because all he did was work for this deen. Never wavering, never falling short, even with his issues, his medical issues, never wavering. So when I read statements like this of a man who said it 1,400 years ago, and I take these statements and I contrast them with that brother, and it's like, and I think how short I've fallen. Allahumma salli. May Allah help us all. And may Allah make us be a third of what this man became for just living his land. And I talk about myself first because I know I'm falling short compared to him. And I met him as a non-Muslim. But he did the work, as Sheikh Naeem always said, he did the work, and his name is ringing bells. And then it takes me back to another person's experience just 2 weeks ago, not last week, subhanAllah. In Virginia, and I met a lot of people who know the Imam here. They know the Masjidun-Nur. They're familiar with the Masjidun-Nur, and they're going through some of the same tribulations and trials that we're going through here in Norfolk, Virginia. But the young brother, the Imam's son, by default, he's placed in a position where he had to lead the community. Now he's the Imam. But they're going through the same trials and tribulations that we're going through here, and we have to pass this baton. We have to prepare our children to pass the baton, to carry this baton, and take this thing to another level. Because children are dying. What do we think? How long do we think we're going to have? This is way in hundreds of miles away from here in Virginia, but yet they know about Masjidun-Nur. And they're suffering with some of the same calamities and issues that we're dealing with, not just here per se, but in this city. But they're preparing their youth. And I had a class with the young brothers, 18, 19, 17 years old, from all different diversity of backgrounds. High school students, college students, but they're prepared. 3 or 4 of them Hafiz of the Quran. This one is in college for this. This one is in college for that. This one is in college for that. They're preparing them to take these reins. As our Prophet ﷺ, he had Abdullah bin Umar, Abdullah bin Abbas. All these were kids that he surrounded himself with because he knew these were the ones that's going to take this deen. We had to start preparing our next generation to carry this deen on to the next level. And like I said, I rarely use my personal experience when I come up on this minbar, but this shit close to home because I'm in Virginia looking at these youngsters preparing to take the reins, only to get a call to say one of my elders has fallen. So we got life, people preparing for life in the next level, and on the other end, we got death. That's a reminder to myself first that we plan and the Lord plan, and the Lord bless the planners. And what did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? What did he say in the Quran? About changing your condition. Allah will not change the condition until they what? Inna Allah la yughayyiru ma biqawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. And when we hear this statement, we think about it in negative, but it's 2 ways of looking at it. Allah will not take a blessing from you until you decide to give it up. He changed the condition because you decide you didn't want it no more. So he took it from you. Just like a negative to a positive, he can change the positive to a negative. He takes something from you. And we see it around us all the time. Just look at our condition. Just look at the condition of our communities. And we as elders, we have to take this in consideration. We have to take it in consideration and start looking at doing the work. And start preparing our youth to carry these reins and to take it to the next level. Look at the 3 companions, Yaquan, who came to the house of the Prophet who wanted to compete with him in his worship. They wanted to compete with him in worship. They were ready to take the reins. Are we preparing our youth? Are we preparing to make the transition to the next level? Because it's coming. Whether we're here or not, whether we're prepared for it or not, it's coming. Death is right at our door. Every soul is going to taste death. When a man asked Mr. Muhammad about the last day, about the hour, he said, what have you prepared for? He didn't say, I don't know. He said, what have you prepared for it? You're asking me about something. Are you prepared for it? You want to know? Ayyunas Akas, who are the most intelligent people? The question was asked. And it said, it's the one who remembers death the most, and they prepare for what comes after it the best. Not the doctor, not the lawyer, not the judge, the imam. It is the one who remembers the death the most, and they prepare for what comes after it the best. And tomorrow is not promised. Tonight is not promised. And we see it all around us. We see it. And we're experiencing it. A lot of us personally know people. We don't have to get into that. أقول قد هذا وأنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك وأشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. ذكر الله تعالى في الكتاب الكريم كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله. Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, He has addressed the Muslims in the Quran saying, and this is not a position to be taken lightly, indeed you are the best of the people, Muslims, raised up or brought out from mankind, because you enjoin the good and forbid the evil, and you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is talking to us, the people who say, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. He is speaking to us. Kuntum khayra. All of you are the best, khayr, the best, raised up from humanity, because you enjoy the good and forbid the evil, and you believe in Allah, most importantly. And the scholars of the Sober religion, they have clarified that from the isbab, that from the reasons of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving this ummah preference is because we enjoy the good and forbid the evil, and we believe in Allah. Then Allah says in the Quran, "Al-mu'minina mu'minat ba'dun awliya'u ba'd," that the believing man, as we call, say you the best, he said the believing man and the believing women, not only are they awliya, not only are they protectors for one another, but they invite one another and they call one another to righteousness and piety. And they forbid one another from evil. They hold back the hand of the evil one. And they hold back the hand of the oppressor. This is from the attributes of the believers, Jaquan. It is a sign of iman. It is a sign of faith. It is a sign of faith. As the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has stated in authentic narration in regards to this ayat, he said, "Men yura minkum munkaran, fa iha yudra bi yadihi, fa inna yarsatir, fa bi lisanihi, fa inna yarsatir, fa bi qalbihi, wa dhalika al-iman." He said, whoever from amongst you, talking to the believers, talking to the Muslims, whoever from amongst you, if he sees an evil, then let him change it with his hands. And if that's going to cause too much fitna, and if you're unable to do that, then let him forbid it with his tongue. Meaning you speak out against it. You give a warning against it. You give a reminder to the person. And if you can't do that, and that is going to cause more fitna, then the very least that you can do is to hate in your heart. But that is the other effort, man. And that is the weakest of faith. But hating in your heart doesn't just mean I dislike a thing, but it means I can't stand to be around it, and I don't even want it around me. Because if it is, and I can't have control over it physically with my hands or verbally with my mouth, what am I doing here? Hating in your heart means it has different levels. It means I don't even want it around me, and I don't want to be around it. But unfortunately, we live in a society where evil is all around us. So what do we do in cases like this? We have to be selective about what we do, where we go. More importantly, our actions, because we're not in control of the people's actions around us. But unfortunately, or fortunately, your actions are going to affect the people that are around you. Because people are going to look at you and say, "Oh, you're a Muslim. You ain't supposed to be doing that. You're a Muslim. You ain't supposed to be doing this." That's the first thing they do. But what you're doing is perfectly fine. But because I'm Muslim, I'm not supposed to be doing this. I'm a human being. You're a human being. Right? There's no angels down here. But they don't see that. All they see is you are Muslim. So like I said, whatever is a common affair of your life, that's what you become known for. That's what the people thinking about you. And that's what the angels write you down as being. So we have to change that narrative. And when the people see us, they see, okay, he's this and that, or she's this and that, this and third. Yeah, we got issues. We got faults and defects. Ain't no angels down here, as we said. Allah said, Umtu khayra ummatu ukhrijat lin-nas, that we're the best raised out for humanity. We scream at the top of our lungs as Muslims that we're followers of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions. But look what the companions said. They said, Bayana Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam ala sami wa ta'ala. They said, we pledge allegiance to the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to hear and obey. Fil usri wa yusra wa la kula haq aina makuna wa la makafata al-lawmat al-lab. They said, we pledge allegiance to the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to hear and obey in good times and in bad times, or in hardship and in ease, and to speak the truth wherever we were, and to not fear the blame of those who blame. What about us? Say we're Muslims. What about us, this new Muslim, this 21st century Muslim? The Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he saw a man eating, his stepson actually, and he was eating, and he was reaching all over the plate. Did he leave it upon that? Nah. He said, Semillah wa kud malik wa kud biyaminik. He said, say Allah's name before you eat, and eat with your right hand, and eat what is close to you, forbidding you from the evil, and doing the good, forbidding evil. What about us? What about this 21st century Muslim? And I'm speaking to myself first. But we claim to be upon the way of the companions of the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We scream at the top of our lungs that we're followers of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Where are we from these narrations? And although these narrations were revealed 1,400 years ago, hundreds of years ago, we as Muslims today in the 21st century, when we collect this information, we don't just collect it as information, because you had to find a way to make this information, although it was 1,400 years ago, applicable to your life right now today. Because the Sunnah is until Qiyamah. The Quran is until Qiyamah. The Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam example is until Qiyamah, and it's for nas, for mankind. So we have to take this information and try to find a way to make it applicable to us in our situation right now today, even though it was revealed 1,400 years ago. Herein lies the dilemma. Because we get this information and we just read it like they're stories, like they're fables and stories. But yet when the companions, whatever he said, they would hang on every word because they knew whatever he said was connected to their salvation. And they didn't even have the Quran completed yet. And we have the Quran completed. We have the Sunnah. We have all these, complete all these books, the Kitab, all this. And what are we doing? What are we doing? And we say we're Muslims, but what are we doing? We got the dress down pack, we got the pants up, we got all that other, but where are we internalizing this deen? And that internalization is becoming a reflection of your actions. That action is being translated into work, as the Imam would say. Because the companions, wherever they went, they had an effect on the whole atmosphere. Just one of them. And they were responsible for us having this deen right now today, 1,400 years later, in its pristine condition. But we say we love the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We say we bear witness that nothing has the right to be worshipped except Allah, and that we love the Prophet. What do we know about him? What do we know about him? What do we really know about him? What do we really know about this deen? And some of us have been Muslim for years. But what do we really know about this deen that we can take and implement and have a condition, have a change, not only in our condition immediately, but our friends? Because that's what this deen does. What Allah said, He said, protect, but you gotta protect yourself first. Because How you mean to go to your family? You're not good. First change conditions of their own selves. Just one ayat. You can write volumes on just one ayat. Volumes. And as I said, I'm talking to myself first. I don't free myself from nothing I'm saying here today. And I'm going in a different direction that I've never been. And being personal, I never do that up here. But these things are personal. And I am a person. And what I do, whether you like it or not, is going to be a reflection on you. So when a person says, oh, no, man, mind your business, you are my business because you're Muslim. You are my business. Just like I'm your business. So whatever I do is going to affect you. Is it our age or hadith? When I see a person who's following the sunnah, as if I see the Prophet alive. Well, if I see a person contrary to that, and you say you're Muslim, am I not supposed to say something? I'm a reflection of you, and you are a reflection of me, because we are Muslims. So what you do is not your business. It's our business. Because people are going to look at you, and they're going to look at me. Although I can't speak for you, I'm showing them directly. They're going to have to answer you. Look at your brother. Look at your sister. They say they're Muslim. No, they got all kinds of faults. But they're so busy magnifying yours and magnifying ours. كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله. We are the best Muslims. If you leave here with nothing else today, remember this ayat that we are the best brought out for humanity because we enjoy the good and we forbid the evil and we believe in Allah and we invite one another to righteousness and piety and we forbid one another for evil and we believe in Allah. If you don't remember nothing else I said here today, just remember that because that is connected to our salvation. Not your salvation, our salvation. Because we are one ummah. As he said, there's a part in the body that if it is bad, the whole body is bad. And if it's sound, the whole body is sound. And that's the heart. And we're supposed to be the lifeblood of one another. Whether we like it or not, whether we accept it or not. Ummatun wasitin. We are one nation, a balanced nation of Muslims. So we make the dua in closing. Allahumma aynu haqqul haqqu. Oh Allah, show me the truth. Reveal to me the truth. Make the truth plain to me and give me the ability to follow it. And show me falsehood. Show me those who are being deceptive. Show me my deception and give me the ability to stay away from it. And do not make it so that it deceives me so that I may be led astray. I mean, this is the dua. Ask Allah to show you the truth and reveal it to you. And give you the ability to follow it once it is revealed to you. Because some of us seen the truth and we go another way. Well, I'm doing this right now. I know Allah, I know that, but I'm doing this right now. So once you show it to me, give me the ability to follow it. And show me falsehood exactly the way it is. And give me the ability to stay away from it. Because a lot of us are gravitated towards the falsehood and towards the evil. Because it's a part of the soul. The part of the soul that calls you to evil. So we ask Allah to show us and to guide us and to protect us. أقول لك هذا وأنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك وأشهد أن لا إله إلا خير أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وأقيم الصلاة.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah.